Imagine a small army facing a force 5 or even 10 times larger and still winning. History is full of these incredible underdog moments, from ancient Greece to medieval Scotland, and even against the Mongols. Here are 10 of the most legendary David versus Goliath victories. Number 10. The Battle of Marathon. In the year 490 BC, the Persian Empire invaded Greece with a massive army. Athens could only bring about 10,000 hoplites to face them. By all logic, the Persians should have crushed the smaller force. But the Athenians fought with discipline, bravery, and clever tactics. In the end, they pushed the Persians back and shocked the world. This victory proved that even a small city could resist one of the greatest empires in history. Number 9. The Battle of Agincourt in 1415. King Henry V of England marched into France with a weak, sick, and exhausted army. The French outnumbered him by several times, and they were confident they would win easily. But heavy rain had turned the ground into deep mud. French knights struggled to move, while English longbowmen fired arrow after arrow into their ranks. Despite all odds, Henry's tiny army achieved a legendary victory that inspired generations. Number 8. The Battle of Rorke's Drift in 1879. During the Anglo-Zulu War, about 150 British and colonial troops defended a small mission station. Against them stood about 4,000 experienced Zulu warriors. The defenders built barricades and used rifles to hold back the waves of attacks. Hour after hour, the Zulus charged, but the small garrison survived. Against a vastly larger force, they created one of the most famous last stands in military history. Number 7. The Siege of Vienna. In 1683, the mighty Ottoman Empire brought an enormous army to the gates of Vienna, threatening to conquer Central Europe. Inside the city were only a few thousand exhausted defenders. It seemed hopeless, but just in time, a relief force arrived, led by the Polish king Jan Sobieski. His famous winged hussars charged and broke the Ottoman lines. The defenders and their allies had survived the impossible. Vienna was saved against overwhelming odds. Number 6. The Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297. Scottish rebel leader William Wallace faced an English army far larger than his own, but Wallace had a clever plan. He waited until the English began to cross a narrow bridge. Then his men attacked, cutting them down while they were trapped. The bridge became a deadly bottleneck. Despite their smaller numbers, the Scots used brains over brawn and won a stunning victory that inspired resistance across the land. Number 5. The Battle of Issus in 333 BC. Alexander the Great commanded about 40,000 men, while his enemy, the Persian king Darius III, had over 100,000. By every calculation, Alexander should have been crushed, but he used brilliant tactics, speed, and discipline. He struck directly at Darius, who fled the field in panic. The massive Persian army collapsed. Alexander had once again proven that strategy and determination could defeat even the largest enemy force. Number 4. The Battle of Teutoburg Forest. In the year 9 AD, 3 Roman legions, thousands of Rome's finest soldiers, marched through German forests. Their guide was Arminius, a Germanic leader they thought was an ally, but Arminius betrayed them. In a carefully planned ambush, Germanic tribes attacked from all sides. The Romans were trapped, unable to form their usual formations. They were slaughtered almost to the last man. Against all expectations, a tribal coalition had destroyed one of the most powerful armies of the ancient world. Number 3. The Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. Robert the Bruce and his Scottish army faced a massive English force determined to crush their independence. The Scots were outnumbered and faced heavily armed cavalry, but Robert used the terrain to his advantage. His men dug pits, set traps, and formed tight spear walls. The English knights charged and became trapped. Against all odds, the Scots not only survived but won a decisive victory that secured their freedom. Number 2. The Battle of Ain Jalut in 1260. The Mongols had been unstoppable, conquering lands from China to Eastern Europe. It seemed no one could resist them, but at Ain Jalut, the Mamluks of Egypt stood their ground. Outnumbered and facing a terrifying enemy, they used clever cavalry maneuvers and surprise tactics. For the first time, the Mongols were decisively defeated in open battle. And finally, number 1, the Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BC. This is perhaps the most famous David versus Goliath battle in history. King Leonidas of Sparta led only 300 Spartans, along with a few thousand Greek allies, to block the pass at Thermopylae. Facing them was the Persian king Xerxes, with a gigantic army, possibly hundreds of thousands strong. For 3 days, the tiny Greek force held the narrow pass, slaughtering wave after wave of Persians. In the end, the Spartans were betrayed and surrounded, but they fought to the last man. Their sacrifice gave the rest of Greece precious time to prepare for war. Against impossible odds, the 300 became legends, proving that courage can inspire entire nations. From Athens at Marathon to Alexander at Gaugamela, these stories prove that numbers alone do not decide battles. Courage, clever leadership, and determination can turn the tide. The Davids of history remind us that the impossible can sometimes become reality. Which of these battles surprised you the most? Write your answer in the comments. And if you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to subscribe for